I think sometimes freelancers try to go after everyone and they don't serve anyone. When you're working within a client, you want trust and you want to be providing value before you put your hand out and get paid.
My name is Mong'are, and welcome to another episode of the Freelancer's Mic, where we have conversations with creative. Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Freelancer's Mic. But before anything, I just want to appreciate you for listening to the first episode of this podcast. Thank you so much for your feedback. So back to today's episode. I'm so excited about my guest today. He has a lot to share with us. So, Paul, you're on the mic.
Thanks, Ludia. Thanks for having me. My name is Paul Easton. I'm broadcasting this directly from New Zealand, which is ahead of time in every other world. So you're getting a message from the future here. My background is in digital marketing, and I started off, if I look back, it's actually 20 years ago now, and I actually started selling dog clothes, strangely enough. So if you're listening to this and you're a dog owner, I'm apologizing to your dog, because I put them in costumes and Halloween costumes and all those wonderful things of where I started. I didn't know where I was going to go, so I chose a small little market to feature on. And that's, I think sometimes freelancers try to go after everyone and they don't serve anyone. So that's sort of my first lesson. And that led me into, understanding how marketing works. I bought a lot of my courses online. I took that learning and I executed, and nothing happens without execution. That's one of my other main lessons. You can watch a course, but if you don't put into action and learn from it, there's nothing in it for you. You won't learn anything. That's where the real learning happens. So from there, I went off, and I actually, I liked that, but I was getting asked for more help from business owners. And these are small business owners. So my lesson here was they were great people, but they didn't have the greatest amount of money to spend. And that's just because they were startup businesses. So from there, I thought, okay, I need to get in front of bigger customers. But as a freelancer, it's quite hard to get in front of a bigger company because you don't have the credibility that a company has. Sometimes you're working on your own. So I actually took on a project where I went to an interview it was planned for a job, but actually it was a freelance job. Rebuild of a e-commerce site, 10,000 products, and rebuilding this customized site from a standard static site into an e-commerce site. And so when I went in there, I went with a very open mind, and I got on very well. Building relationships is really key, and I got on really well with the CEO of the company. And when it came up to building this project, I said, I've managed teams before. Do you want me to manage this whole thing? I'll manage the teams, employ them, and manage the process. And he says, well, that'd be great. So that got me in the door further than I would have been from the first conversation. So relationships are key when you're working, especially remotely. You've got to build that relationship up and make sure you follow through. I built up a great relationship with the company CEO. And when it came to managing a team, I says, would like to get me to manage and hire the whole team for you and manage the process? And he said, well, that was great. And I always come from a place of serving. So that's the way the approach is, okay, how can I make it easier for this person? How can I be of value for this person? And I know Lydia in the VA space, exactly right. You have to come from a position of how can I serve my clients better? And I don't think a lot of people realize that. You come from a job sometimes, and they don't realize that you are there to help that person out. You're there to solve their problems.
Okay, so what are some of the marketing strategies that have helped you so far?
Oh, right. So for me as a freelancer, I needed to position myself as knowing what I do. So I actually went to some networking groups. As a freelancer, there are networking groups that you can go to and join, and the breakfast networking groups. The main one in New Zealand is called BNI. It's worldwide. And that's a networking group of which you can get face-to-face with people. You can meet people, and you get to learn about your skills, and you get to learn about their skills. And from a freelancer point of view, it's an unusual approach because you're getting offline and you're getting in front of people, but that's also another way to connect. From that, I made some relationships, and from those relationships, I still get business from them now 10, 15 years later. They still connect with me, and it came back. And I had a client yesterday who came back asking for more advice on something. It was something I couldn't do for them in the past. And I said, look, I can't help you with this. But I kept in touch, and they came back. I looked back in the emails, and it was 2019 or something. They connected with me last time.
Okay, so you've mentioned about client relationships and skills. So how do you think freelancers should nurture themselves or handle themselves to maintain good relationships and have that long-lasting relationships with clients so that they can have more referrals coming their way?
I think start from the position of serving in mind. When you're working within a client, you want trust and you want to be providing value before you put your hand out and get paid. You want to come in from a position of how can I serve you? And look, you can do this by reviewing a person's website and providing value into how you're doing it. I see people's websites making massive mistakes all the time. And I can jump on and do a video. So that's easy for me to produce. It's easy for me to show someone else. It shows value up front. I think a lot of freelancers try to go for the sale too soon. They need to provide that value up front before they look at turning someone into a customer. Like this, it's hard to build trust, especially if you're in a virtual environment like this. So you have to provide value up front. Then, so once you've got that value up front and the customer says, yes, I want to spend even a small amount with you with that, you have to deliver on time. You have to communicate very consistently. I have a model where if a client or anyone communicates with me, I will get back to them within that 24 hours. And normally it's within a couple of hours. See, that builds trust, right? It builds trust. Yeah. And that means you have to commit to being organized to reply to these messages as best you can. Now, dealing with clients, I can say, and anybody who's dealt with clients understands this, it can be challenging because you have a client, and I'll give you a real-time example of what I mean. So I've got a client that I've done work for in the Google Ads, and I've also done work in their organic ranking for a couple of years. Now, they're asking for more and more work, more and more things for me to look into. But I have to be careful of how much they keep asking for within what they're already paying. And when they cross over the line to creating, it takes more work to do this, I need to charge you more for this. And that's where a lot of freelancers get caught, right? They get caught doing more and more because they want to satisfy the client. But there is a point where you have to say, look, these are great ideas, but they're outside. Here's the line used. They're outside of our current engagement. I need to give you an amount this is going to take.
Yes, you need to know when to stop. Okay, talking about that, would you recommend for someone to be doing free work in exchange for a testimonial or free work just to put themselves out there?
Oh, that's a catchy question. Free advice, I will always do that. I will always get on the call with somebody for 10 minutes and have a call with them. I guess the line is, how much do you give away? That's basically what you're saying, right? How much do you lead up front? I will give free people advice, but if it takes any more than advice or any application, then I draw a line there. So I'll give you another example. So Gary Vee, right, one of the most well-known celebrities online, he gives massive advice in all his speaking events. But he also knows that the people in that crowd are small businesses. They're never going to be agency clients for him. So he builds credibility up with those smaller businesses, knowing that his real clients are the bigger companies. So he can give away the value, knowing that these bigger businesses are going to come to him and say, can you actually do the work for me? So that's one way you can do it. And just beware of how much time you do spend giving away. If you have someone who wants advice, you give them advice once. If they keep coming back, then that's a warning bell for how much time they're taking from you. And you have to draw a line there. And I think it has to be on a case-by-case basis. And you can be blunt. Look, I've given you as much help as I can. Anything else we have to find a mutually beneficial arrangement where you pay for my services. And you have to have the acceptance that some people won't pay. It's just they won't get down that path. Here's another freelancer tip. If you start working with a new client and you've never worked with them before, the great way to get started is to have a setup cost, right? A setup cost to get started. They're very motivated. They want to get things going. And that covers the downside if for any reason they don't pay ongoing. So you get this setup cost, and it's a little commitment from them to get things moving. It can be a small amount, but it covers your risk of doing that work. Yeah.
Yes, like some upfront payments.
Yep. But say that you need this upfront to get things going. Most people, you're trying to solve their problem for them, because that's what a business is. And you say, look, to get this moving, I'm going to need to get it, even if it's $100 payment to get things moving, and just to get that started before we get further into this. At least if something goes wrong in the future, you've hopefully covered your baseline costs. I think freelancers get taken a lot. Some companies will use them, and I think you have to draw a line of where it is. There's literally thousands of people who could be your customers. You don't have to rely on that simple one, but you do have to serve up front, and don't also be afraid of asking for a testimonial. And I'll give you another exact way I've done this. So I did some work for a web development company. The guy, I got on really well. I met him at a networking group. I did some work for him, and I said to him, hey, look, it'd be great if I get a testimonial, and nothing happened. So I actually wrote him a testimonial, and I sent it to him, and I said, are you okay with this for the work we've done? And he goes, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what you've done. So take it off the person and get them to say that, because and I don't consider that wrong. He agreed with everything I said, and I did the work for him. I think when I look at people's websites, and especially freelancers on the whole, they don't build enough credibility. They don't build enough trust. And, it doesn't take much to do some work for a friend and them to do a testimonial for you. There's nothing wrong with that. You've done the work. You're showing that you are reliable. And also I'll go on a tangent a little bit. People who use places like Upwork don't realize that how important that the reviews are, that people are not going to trust you with a $10,000 job if you haven't done 10 jobs at $100. There's a cost to going into freelancer sites like that. You get caught with the lowest end a lot of time. It's the lowest price that gets a job, and you end up working. Look, the only way I do that is if you are working for reviews and you're working to build your credibility up. That's when you've got to put in that work to get there. But you've also got to get to a point where you won't take the low-end roles, because otherwise you might as well, a lot of freelancers end up working for less than they would at a job. You've got to get careful and smart. Admittedly, if you're starting out and you're happy doing just about any work to get some credibility, yeah, go for it. But at some point you have to upgrade your game. You have to upgrade so you're worth more and you're worth paying more. And sometimes doing those low-end jobs at the start is the key element. But you have to upgrade your game and show you that you're worth more.
We're talking about freelancers putting themselves out there. I understand you've been around for quite some time. In the era of digital marketing, how has it shaped your business?
I've done a freelance work, and freelance work has allowed me to get into other companies. It's allowed me to take on roles. Currently, I'm working in several different roles, but my real focus for the moment, I enjoy digital agency work and have been done a lot of years in that. And that's led me from one job to another. So freelancing work led me to another person. It led me to the next bigger client. It led me to step into those next areas and to be known for a particular area. Again, some freelancers try to do too much. They try to be everything to everybody, and you don't want to be that. You want to be the reliable problem solver. And if that means you're, the specialist in dog clothes marketing, you can be that, right? That's a possibility. You can be a specialist in e-commerce marketing in a particular small niche. You've got the whole world. In fact, and so you become the reliable person in that market. I've done that in a lot of areas. And I've moved on to what my focus is right now, which is Lemon Angels. So it's lemonangels.com. And this story is a little bit of a different story. I've been in marketing for a long time, and I enjoy marketing.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to share with us your experience. Up to this point, we have to end this podcast. And to everyone listening or watching this podcast, thank you so much for being with us. I hope you'll take into effect all the points that Paul has shared with us.